welcome back to the channel, guys. Floppy drives, we got two of them on the bench. These are Fujitsu M2551A. They are 360K floppy drives, and they are both broken. Belong to a friend of mine who said he had one of them, like his main drive, to make 5.25-inch discs with, using a grease weasel, which is one of these cool devices here inside. Basically use this to write flux information to or read flux information from floppy drives. Read and write pretty much any format that you want. And this one broke, I guess. And then he bought another one that somehow, oh boy, yeek, that didn't work out of the box. So lots of corrosion on this one here. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's see if we can get this thing to work again. And then what he tried was to, that is much better, look at that, that's much cleaner. Then what he tried to do when it stopped working for him is he bought the other one and it didn't right away work, so he tried to swap the heads, I guess, which is why, as we can see, this PCB here is all kinds of loose. The cable here is out, and as you can see, we're missing the top head here. Gone. Right there, you see? On the other hand, this drive here has the two heads here that clap together, and then there's another head sitting like loose in here. So I don't really know what happened. Did the head on one break, and then he tried to transfer them over to the working mechanism, or transfer a good known head from a dead drive to a working mechanism? I don't know. I would assume that this mechanism here is working, right? And would mean that this mechanism here is not working. And it would mean that these heads are assumed working, and this head here is assumed not working. I don't know which of these is the new head versus the old head. I don't know. Like, I'm noticing a couple of things here right away. I'm noticing that here's an extra cable. This is from the old head, I guess. And oh yeah, it would mean that this here is the old head, the one that is loose here, is the old head from this drive, it belonged to this drive, because the lower head is still in place in the bottom, and they both have this thinner cable. This drive here has the bottom head still in place, and it has a cable, that a different kind of cable. All but one cable here is snipped. You see that? They're all snipped off. Yeah, I also notice how, look, the head isn't on right. It looks like it's almost crooked. Well, okay, so what do we start first? Let's start with this one here. Why not? It's right here. It's less problematic to try. Looks better. It looks clean. Looks brand new, really. Wow. All right, let's pop in a disc real quick. Here's my grease weasel. Plug that in. Oh boy. Plug it in. All right, everything plugged in correctly. Should do something, right? So let's see here. Flip it like so. Okay. The motor spins. It's going to tell me it couldn't find a zero index. No flux state, no index. And that's probably because neither head is attached, but that will probably be why. Let's try seeking. Seek 20, so 360K drive. So we expect it to spin at 360 revolutions per minute. Also, it should have 40 tracks, so 20 should be in the middle. All right. It couldn't find track 0, and that's because, again, the heads are not. The heads being gone here is a problem for this drive, but at least it wants to spin. It wants to spin the disc around, so that's good news. Let's try the other guy. Okay, so let's see if this one wants to do anything at all. RPM. All right. Okay. It wants to spin, so despite the corrosion, that's good. So let's try to read some stuff from this. All right, it's trying to seek, but it's not finding any sectors. Okay, it's seeking fine. It's spinning the disk fine. Doesn't read anything from the disk. Yes, it's really bizarre. The head is like not even aligned right.
Okay, we should talk a little bit about how floppy disks are laid out. As you can see, the disk itself is structured as follows. We have a hole in the center and we have alignment holes on the outer perimeter telling when a new sector is about to pass by. There's 9 sectors on each side. In those sectors, the actual data is stored. The data is stored on what they call tracks. Track 0 is the outermost track, and track 40 on 360K drives or track 80 on 1.2 megabyte drives is the innermost track. And as you can imagine, the head needs to align perfectly still in the middle of the track. Here in this image, the blue rectangle represents the head assembly. The orange square represents the read-write head. As you can see, the read-write head needs to be perfectly aligned with the track in order to reach every single sector as the disk spins around. The read-write head is massively smaller than indicated here. As you can see, the read-write head is only this tiny little strip here of electromagnetic coil, and the erase head is usually right next to it, upstream from the direction of travel of the disk. If the head is in the correct position, squarely and centered perfectly on the track, you can read data just fine. But if the head is shifted to the left or shifted to the right, it reads the data just a tad too early or just a tad too late, and that may or may not, depending on the drive, cause the flux to be read incorrectly and therefore you not being able to make any head or tail of the data. You could also have the situation where the head is slipped towards the front or the back, in which case you read data from a different track. Or you could have a situation where the head is yawed in the sense where it's not square and parallel to the direction of travel of the track underneath it. So you kind of just read gibberish flux data. And of course you can have any combination of the three where the head is yawed, slipped and shifted, in which case good luck making any sensible information of the data whatsoever.
So I'm wondering if my friend swapped the head and then didn't align it. So maybe that's the problem. What's wrong with the heads? Let's find out. I'm just probing on the wires that live on the head here. And between white and blue, we got 18 ohms. Could be true. White and black is 9 ohms, almost 10 ohms. Okay. And white and red is also 10 ohms. Blue and black is 9 ohms. Blue and red is 10 ohms. Okay. Black and red is 1.5 ohms. So that's basically short. Oh, I see what happened here. He snipped off the lower head. He snipped off the cables for the lower head and then he made a new cable. Okay, I see what happened here. 12. Yeah, I think the lower head here might be either disconnected or it might be broken. So how do we repair this? I'm wondering if I need to open this thing here up and see if the black wire isn't quite right. I'm wondering if it might be smarter for us to just solder on a better header. Let's see if these header sockets here, these should be fine. Could just push them. Oh yeah, push them over there, and now they make good contact. I wonder. Oh yeah, they will work fine. Look at that. Solder on a fresh header for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trim to length. Here we go then. Okay, so that was easy. That was quick and easy. Let's measure it again, friends. Now from here from the connector side, white to black. It's 10. Yeah, that seems to be about right. So maybe this head might just work. We have roughly the same resistance on this head here too, as well as this head. The only head that is unknown so far is the one that is underneath here. And that could be because the black wire is just not connected here in this connector. So this connector has to come apart either way. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, there you have it. It's nicely done. Like, he really did a good job. However, oh boy, yeah, that can't work, right? Because look at this. Does this look like some of the connectors touch? Does this look like the red wire is shorted between the top and the bottom head? Because that for sure would explain why this head isn't working, right? Let's measure. Yeah, there you have it. Totally shorted. All right. Now here's the question. Am I gonna restore the heads where they were? How I really want to bring the head over to where it was. Take this head off. Okay. And here we have finally an exposed view of the lower head. This concerns me. Where's the other piece? Here's a piece, there's a piece. Seems like there's a spring missing, right, from this particular head here. Well, we'll find out. Here we are. Hello. Here we go. We've got black. We've got red. And we've got key, blank, and blue. Unless they both failed exactly in the same way, and the third head that is on the other drive here also fails exactly in the same way, I would wager these heads are okay. But for sure, the heads are misaligned. So at the very least, the top one is misaligned. And we can test that out. Like, recall that this is the drive that is with no corrosion. We just reinstalled the upper head, so now it's got its head back, which is nice. Let's plug it in. Grease Weasel needs to be reset first. Reset. Okay. And let's try RPM. It turns. Complains it has no index. Of course, because we need one of these. All right. And now we have a seeking drive. Look at that. And we have also a drive that'll tell us that it's running at 300 revolutions per minute. Since we're making progress, let's take the probe off. Let's just read this disk. Yeah, all right. Okay. Yeah, the entire unit is misaligned, right? All right, it took quite a bit. Let me turn the sound off here. That's getting very irritating. But yeah, it took a little while, but I think we finally figured it out. So here we are. The drive is spinning. The drive is reading a known good disk. Track 39. We are on head number 1, as you can see up there. Reads 18 of 18 sectors. Head number 0 reads 18 of 18 sectors. Seeking to track 20 or so, 18 of 18. The other head, 18 of 18, perfect. Seek to sector 0. We read 18 of 18 and 18 of 18. Great. So So yeah, this head is unfortunately dead, which means this drive is unfortunately not gonna be repaired. That's so sad. Now we're at 3, and now we are at 3. Yeah, I think we're. Oh, actually, yeah. All right, this thing is destroyed. Okay, well, it was worth a try, and that's how it goes sometimes. Nevertheless, we still have one more drive where we want to. Oh, here's a thing we can try. Only using the lower head, though, can this thing still read? Okay, it's reading something. It's probably still misaligned. This is what we kind of expected, right? We expected that there would be some misalignment. So the lower head works. The upper head is broken. If we ever find a replacement head, we can repair it. But until then, it'll unfortunately be the end. Let's grab the other drive we repaired. Okay, and now it's also properly reading a disc. Nice. Written in a different drive, by the way. This one, to be exact. Can we write a disk and read it with another drive? We're writing, which is nice. All right, final test. Reading the disk written by the repair drive in a known good drive. And looks good. It's reading both heads. Nice. Only one thing left to do, right? Namely, make sure that this wobbliness of this main board here is gonna not be a problem in the future. And now, to hide these cables. Yeah, look at that. It's right in. I'll tuck them in here, though, to make sure that they are a little bit safe. And that's it. Perfectly repaired disk drive. And one that suffered from damage. But considering its corrosion, I'm not entirely surprised. Anyways, my friends, if you need anything repaired, restored, or modded, call your boy RetroByteMeister at retrobytemeister.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.